All right, this is Sean Michael Andrews, and I'm coming to you from Louisiana, where it is 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God! And I'm talking, I'm talking with my friend Rob DeGrove, who will be in Augusta, Georgia, with me on 11 and 12 May to teach the Jeffrey Stevens protocol. Hey, Rob, how's it going?
Good. For me, it's a quarter past one. I'm just having a lunch break. I'm teaching my out of the blue hypnosis training here in Belgium. So we are on lunch break. So it's a
Oh, okay.
better
Yeah,
time of day to talk than 6 in the morning.
yeah. I may not have lunch for a couple of hours, but that's okay. Anyway, let's talk a little bit more about the Jeffrey Stevens protocol that you're going to be teaching in Augusta, Georgia on 11 and 12 May. Now, last time we talked, you talked about there were 10 parts to the Jeffrey Stevens protocol, and I'd like to talk about one of those parts. So why don't you go? Which part are we going to talk about?
So yeah, there are 10 steps, and one of the most important steps for me is the boilerplate. It's a step that you can use in every other type of hypnosis that you're doing. I use it all the time, even today when I'm teaching my out of the blue hypnosis, what's impromptu hypnosis and street hypnosis. I will teach
Uh-huh.
my students the boilerplate because it's so important. It's a very good step. So the boilerplate is to make sure that there is no thing that can disturb your session, because of course in a therapy room we have better control than we are hypnotizing on the street, but there might be a problem, or there might be a noise, or there might be a phone ringing, or somebody ringing at the door. So those are things that you can prevent from
Right.
disturbing your session with the boilerplate. So the boilerplate will make sure that the moment that you start with the boilerplate, you will give suggestions about the fact that all voices and all sounds, inside or outside, so also
Right.
the self-talk, so also that guy that's thinking, oh, is this really hypnosis? Oh, I'm not sleeping. Maybe. So the self-talk. So when somebody hypnotized me, I have a lot of self-talk. My
Right.
mind is still going on. So we are going to use that, the voices surrounding you, outside the room, but
Right.
inside the room, but also inside yourself, will make it easier and easier to follow up my instructions. So I will,
Oh,
I will
that's
use
very
also,
interesting.
yeah,
So this is not just a distraction filter
no,
for noises and things that might occur in the area, sounds that they might hear, but also sounds that might, or things that might be going on in their
yeah,
head.
yeah. And a lot of people have that, especially when it's the
Yeah.
first time when they're hypnotized. They start thinking, "Oh, is this going right? I can hear him. I don't sleep. Is this going to work?" So they have this self-talk, and even that self-talk is going to make it easier for them to follow the instructions, because of there's an embedded comment in it. So all those things will make sure that those voices also will help to make the session more profound. We have the same with feelings. There's the same thing with feelings. And then
Right.
there's also a part of the boilerplate that makes sure that you can make mistakes, because maybe you have this cough and you have to cough, or you have to drink, you have to take a sip of water, or you have to sneeze or something, or
Right.
you say something wrong and you have to adjust yourself. Even those mistakes or things that could happen are not going to disturb your client. So you give us a kind of a suggestion, or more an instruction, so that
Right.
those things are not going to bother them. But I have this very good example of it. I was
Uh-huh.
working at my office when my office was still at my home, so in the really begin years, and I was having a session with a client, and I did a boilerplate already, and all of a sudden the doorbell rang. So, and I know I was waiting for a delivery.
Right.
My secretary was not working. I was home alone. So if I wouldn't stand up and open the door, the guy would have put a note in the mailbox, and I needed what was in the delivery that same day. So
Okay.
I had to stand up and open the door, but I did. I signed off and I just went back to my client, and he, even after the session, he never asked about it, because of the fact that the boilerplate takes care of all those things. So I can go to the bathroom if I need it. I can stand up and open the door. So because your client will not be disturbed of anything what's happening whatsoever. So that's one of the things from the boilerplate. Another part of the boilerplate is a super suggestion, the ones that we will use when we do street hypnosis or stage hypnosis. But we
Right.
included it also in the boilerplate when we do change work. So we will give a suggestion that everything we will say will become their total reality. Everything we say that they see, and things like that. So also because after the boilerplate, we will go to the more complex deepeners. And sometimes there's like passing through the zero, it's more with visualization. So they can bind in more to the session, to the things that we are going to use. So, and then we will end the boilerplate with an automatic deepener about the breathing. And when everything goes all right, your client doesn't stop breathing during the session. If he does, then it's too deep. It's too deep. So then you have to no. But something just to bind him in more, to get him to keep the deepening process going. So now you can start with the complex deepeners and your change work. So that's in a nutshell what the boilerplate is about. It's one of the steps that even when you do a session with a complete different approach, most of my students, they will use the boilerplate in every session that they do, because it's so strong. The technique is so strong, and it will give you better results with whatever you're doing. Because of I do it when I do a stage show. I do it also. I also always include the boilerplate. It takes you like 1 or 2 minutes to give the instruction, and you're good. You're good.
Wow. Okay. So it's a combination of the distraction filter, but then you're also making sure that they don't have any distractions of self-talk, and you're also giving them a deepener, and you're telling them that you're giving them the suggestion that this is going to work. So this is done after the induction.
Yeah, it's so it's like it's a third step. So we have the first step is eye engagement, and we go to the deep breath. No, act of compliance, eye engagement, deep breath, induction, simple deepener, and the fifth step is the boilerplate. Fifth or sixth, yeah. I don't know the numbers of the steps by heart, but I just do it. I don't. Yeah, no, it's before you start with the complex deepeners, between the simple deepeners, and so it's the fourth, fifth, sixth step, and then you go to the complex deepener. I
like that.
Change work, magic mirror, execution. That's those are the steps. Yeah.
I like that. And so this works. You use this when you're doing therapy. You use it when you're doing street, and when you're doing stage hypnosis.
I use it all the time. Sometimes I skip the part of the feeling to make it a bit faster when I do street hypnosis. But yeah, when I do a group session, I use it. When I do stage, I use it. I use it all the time. Whenever, for me, it's programmed in my mind. The moment I do an induction, I do a few deepeners, then bang, then there's the boilerplate, and then I go on with whatever I want to do. So that's yeah.
I like it. I'm really looking forward to this. As we talked about, I'm going to be sitting in this class too on the 11th and 12th, and I'm a really slow learner, so you're going to have just kidding. But this is going to.
I don't believe that.
But, oh, you should. But anyway, all right. So we're going to be in Augusta, Georgia, and you had an idea this week that I really love, and that is, I know for some people, it's kind of a big investment in time to travel all the way to Augusta, Georgia. And then of course you've got that, you may have airfare, hotel, and meals and everything like that. So your idea this week is that it's possible for the students to attend virtually from anywhere in the world they are.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, so we will make it able that people can follow this training. They can sit in a training from their home or from wherever they are by a laptop or by a PC or even on a tablet. So
Right.
they can sit in, they can follow the training. We will videotape it. We will also have, we were using special software so we can edit the moment that the training is on, that is live, so they can see I'm using a PowerPoint,
Uh-huh.
and I'm using also some videos, but they will see it not a PowerPoint filmed by the camera, but it's just in the editing include, so they can see it really clear on their screens. They can follow everything. They even can ask questions. It's no problem.
Uh-huh.
So they can virtually raise their hand and ask a question. And even they can do the practices, because the software allows us to put people in rooms together, so by
Uh-huh.
two, so they can practice together. So when because it's a hands-on training, but I
Yeah.
did it when I was in the UK with Sheila Granger, and we had like
Uh-huh.
20 people online doing the practicing. So we had people from Canada doing an exercise with somebody from Australia. There were 3 guys from New Zealand who stayed up the entire night because of the time difference. So and
Uh-huh.
then they had to go to work, so they were really
Oh,
tired. But it was they really found it worthwhile to do it live. Uh,
yeah.
for those who are there in different time zones and they can't make it online, they can also watch the replay and send questions, and I will answer the questions. So there will be a replay available, so they can see it later. Or if they have, like, let's say they can follow live one day and then they have to skip a few hours because they have to go to work or whatever, they can
Right.
watch later on the replay. So that's
Okay.
so at that time they can't ask questions live, of course, but they
Right.
can always contact me. And everybody will also get access to this online platform with all the digital information. The manual will be there in English, in German, some pointers in French. We have
Yeah.
also, so they can all. Whenever they want, they can go there, rewatch the videos, rewatch the training, so they can go there. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, I've set up the page. I did it yesterday, and what they can do is they can just sign up for the course normally, and then send me an email and say I'm going to be a virtual student, and then we'll send them all the contact information, how they can get on, when they should get on, and so they can attend the course even if they don't or can't travel to Augusta, Georgia. So excellent. So
Yeah.
there you
And
have it.
yeah. And
There's
those
no reason
people
to
will,
miss this training
I will send them a digital certificate that they can print, because yeah, we can't mail the real certificates to everybody, but we're gonna send them a digital certificate
now.
so
Uh-huh.
they can print it, and then they also have their certificate of attendance. So
Cool. Okay, so there you have it. So that's the Jeffrey Stevens protocol, a way to do fast change work, step by step, not using scripts, and but then also, as Rob was saying, it's useful in doing street hypnosis and stage hypnosis, and in giving presentations to people, which is super important. So that's a Jeffrey Stevens protocol on 11 and 12 May, which is coming up pretty soon, and yeah, that sounds great. All right. Well, thank you, Rob, for coming in with that. And I'm looking forward to learning more about the boilerplate and then also the other 9 steps of the Jeffrey Stevens protocol here in Augusta, Georgia. All right. Well,
looking
thank you, my
forward to
friend.
being in Augusta. I saw the Masters Golf was played in Augusta.
Yeah, they
Weekend
do
or
that
something.
here.
Yeah,
They do that here. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
See
All right.
you. See you over
I'll see you then. All right.
there. Yeah. Okay. Bye.